What up gamers, Fancier here, and welcome back to the series that I do here, where I talk about if Yu-Gi-Oh characters played Shadowverse, or at least use cards from that game. In this series, I'll be giving my take on what Yu-Gi-Oh characters, class, and cards would be, and whether or not my take is good or not. Let me know down in the comments below, and give me your take on what class and cards that these characters that I'll be discussing about will use. Speaking of characters, last time we talked about the characters from Season 1 of Duel Monsters, and in this video, I'll be talking about characters from Season 1 of GX. And so yeah, that is how I want to do the series here. When it comes to these videos in order, I want to alternate between the spin-offs and try to do them in a loop. So going from Duel Monsters to GX here, then 5Ds to Zexal and so on. And I just want to keep on looping around, going through each of the show's seasons. So with that said, let's begin with our first character here, who is my personal favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character, and that is Jaden Yuki, or Judai Yuki. Now, with Jaden here, it's a bit of a tricky one to try to associate a class and card with in Shadowverse because, yeah, Shadowverse here is mainly fantasy theme. They don't really touch on, like, themes of modern or sci-fi or futuristic, and whenever they do, they always got to make it feel very fantasy-like, at least that's from like what I've seen. And so yeah, that means there really isn't a superhero like set of cards. Like when you type in superhero, I don't think there's really anything superhero about this. Yep, no results were found. If you just type in hero over here, you only get a few cards. You got yeah, some fantasy cards over here. I would say this is the closest thing. Iron Hero would be the closest thing to a superhero. Yeah, you can say that's kind of like Hero Kid or Rottweiler right next to him. So I just realized that I'm in rotation with the cards. Let me go to unlimited for the whole set of cards. But yeah, as you can see over here, just a bunch of fantasy looking people with a bunch of swords and some shields over here. Yeah, you got Mazer over here who is a cowboy, but I don't think he really fits in with the superhero stuff. And then yeah, page 2 over here is a Viking looking guy, hero of antiquity here. But yeah, as you can see, there really isn't a superhero archetype. Is there any no, not even in Unlimited here. There's really no one named superhero. So as you can see, there really isn't any superhero themed cards in Shadowverse, and if there are, let me know down in the comments below because I couldn't really find them in my research. But what I did find in my research, and also I did play this deck kind of like back then, is that there are elemental themed cards in Shadowverse, which is pretty much like the other half of Jaden's deck. So the elemental cards that I chose for Jaden here are in a class that doesn't really fit him well, and that is Runecraft. Yeah, I know, it's a really weird pick because whenever you see Runecraft players in the anime, they're always pretty smart and witty, which is the opposite of Jaden here. But yeah, the reason why I chose Runecraft here over something like maybe Swordcraft or Portalcraft, which I feel like would fit him way more, is because once again, the elemental cards that I chose for him are within Runecraft, and also neutral over here too. Let me go ahead and find those cards right now. But yeah, I am going to make Jaden here a Natura Runecraft player because with Natura, when it comes to Runecraft here, and also Dragoncraft too, but they're more based on dinosaurs, which maybe that can be Tyranno Hasselberry. But yeah, in Runecraft here, they do have these elemental wizards or mages, and I feel like that's the closest thing that I can find when it comes to the whole elemental stuff, with the fire, water, earth, and wind type thing, and being humanoid and not dinosaurs in Dragoncraft. Yeah, this is the closest thing that I can find. So yeah, you got cards like Geo Elementalist, Arrow Elementalist, Earth Sorceress. You got one card here that uses all the elements. Going to the next page over here, you got a Pyromancer, which could be like Burstinatrix maybe, I don't know. You got a Storm Elementalist, you got a Frost Rune Knight, you got a Apex Elemental, which uses all the elements, and you got Riley, the Hydro Shaman. So yeah, as you can see, they're all followers that do have like different elements tied to them, or at least maybe using all of them. But the reason why I chose neutral alongside with Runecraft over here is because there are some cards here that do have a fusion keyword, and yeah, I just really wanted Jaden at least to have a fusion card with him. But yeah, and that card is Great Mother's Embrace. So it is a spell card, which I would say in a way acts like polymerization if you can view it that way with the effects here. But yeah, you fuse it with Natura cards. So yeah, the cards that you have in your deck pretty much will be mostly Natura cards. And yeah, based on the amount of cards that are fused with it, it will randomly activate these effects. And if you fuse at least 3, then all these can activate pretty much at the same time. And you at least want to maybe try to get this one over here, summon a Viridia Magna and evolve it, which can make it feel like you just fusion summon a card. You can fusion summon, Viridia Magna over here and evolve it. But yeah, I don't know if that sounds weird in a way, but I feel like this card here is the closest that you can use alongside with the Runecraft elemental cards. You can fuse Natura cards with it, and it is also pretty I would say easy in a way to get some materials. Not only can you use the followers, but also like the Natura and Great Trees, which you can play and return to your hand. I know with cards like Pyromancer and Storm Elementalist and also Frost Rune Knight, you can return those trees to your hand, so you can use that for like a fusion material. Some cards can give it to you in your hand, I think, with some of these, I believe. I think with these two, maybe. But yeah, I mean, there's also stuff like Natura's Future, which can put 2 into your hand, more fusion materials. This one can give you 1. But yeah, you got like a bunch of options here to, put them into your hand here. And also, if you don't feel like this is good enough, with with the monster over here, with the follower, the Viridia Magna, maybe you want something better with a better effect, with the fusion effect over here. You can also just have this card, Natural Machinus. It takes in both Machina and Natura cards with it. And yeah, you can maybe treat this as well as a another fusion like follower to use. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the Runecraft and the neutral cards that I chose for him. Actually, I lied. There is like one more Runecraft card that you can maybe use. I'm gonna go and reset it over here. And that is Isabel, continuing with the elemental stuff. Also, Isabel over here is a fusion card, so you can fuse Runecraft followers to it, which, yeah, can also play in with the whole fusion polymerization stuff maybe. But yeah, she can give off cards that, has different elemental stuff, I would say. I think it's mainly with Crimson Sorcery here. But more importantly though, we have Quadra Magic here, which can give off elements of creation, which, looking from this artwork over here, uses all the elements pretty much. But yeah, you got a bunch of different elemental cards in Runecraft, and that's why I chose that class over all the others. Because, if we can't have superheroes, then maybe we can go all out with the elements. So while editing this video, I thought about another card that maybe could work out, but I think I'll treat this more as a honorable mention, and that is Flame and Glass. So there's actually 2 versions of this. The first one is with Harness Flame and Harness Glass over here, where they both have the effect where at the start of your turn, if these 2 are on the field, then you combine them to become a Flaming Glass, and that can feel like a polymerization fusion effect right there with that. And also this card is pretty good as well. But yeah, that's just one way. I would say this is more of a meme way, unless maybe you're playing something like Shadow. I know they can like reanimate some cards that are like cost of 3 and stuff, which yeah, Harness Flaming Glass are. But I would say the better option would be Flaming Glass Duality. It is a newer card here, and it does have a fusion keyword where you can fuse with Harness Flame or Glass. Now, yeah, I would say this is the better version of Flaming Glass, but I would say that you know, I keep this as a honorable mention because it is not a Natsura card, so you can't really fuse this with the Natsura cards, and also with this card too, you can't fuse Natsura cards to this card, only with Harness Flame or Glass, and that might disrupt the whole Natsura card flow in a way. So yeah, this might be a thing, you know, with Flaming Glass here being like Fire and Ice. I thought that would fit in well with the whole elemental stuff, but it's not being Natura, yeah, that might mess things up here. But you know, Flaming Glass here is a very powerful card. I know it's being used in Shadow to like reanimate it because yeah, it's got this whole Storm ability here. Um, but yeah, just something to think about. Maybe somehow you guys can make it work out, but you know, I think definitely just stick with the Natura cards. So yeah, that was my take on Jaden or Judai, where he's going to be a elemental mage instead of a elemental hero. But yeah, he's going to be a Natsura Runecraft player. But yeah, moving on. Next up, we got Chaz Princeton or Junman Jomei. Now with Chaz here, he's kind of like a duelist from Duel Monsters where he uses a bunch of different types of cards, but I would mainly just focus on one type of card of his, and that is his Armed Dragon cards. And yeah, just by that automatically he's going to be a Dragoncraft player. Now with the Armed Dragon cards, I feel like yeah, the cards that I chose for him, it is actually just not in Shadowverse, at least not as right now. Maybe in the future, but the cards that I chose for his Armed Dragon equivalent is actually back in the Shadowverse Flame anime, which as of this recording, it is still airing right now. But yeah, go watch that. I think it's a lot better than the original Shadowverse anime. But yeah, in that anime, the main character, Light Tenryu, he uses an Armed Dragon deck in a sense where he would play these Dragoncraft followers and he can arm them through an amulet, like, you know, just activating and giving them an arm effect. And yeah, I feel like because of that, you know, just the whole process of making them into an armed Dragoncraft follower, I feel like that would like work out way well with Chaz here on having a armed dragon type deck. But yeah, I can't really show those cards because I don't think there's really a easy or legal legit way to show them. At least maybe through this website here. But what I can show is like maybe another card that I feel like Chaz would use, and that is in neutral over here, and that is the Bro Family set of cards. Yeah, this one here is kind of hilarious because I can definitely see this being the equivalent to the Ojamas. So yeah, Lowain of the Bro Family is the first of the Bro Family cards, and there's actually 3 members of the Bro Family, and I believe these cards are from Grand Blue. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. I don't really play Grand Blue. But yeah, starting off, when you play Lowain here, you can get Elsam of the Bro Family, and then when you play Elsam, you get Tomoe of the Bro Family, and then when you play Tomoe over here, you get Human Pyramid Attack, in which this last card here is just, it just looks really, it looks really hilarious. It's like all them like, you know, teaming up, just carrying, I'm guessing, I don't know who this is this Lowain? I don't know. They're just carrying him and they're just charging in. I don't know, maybe that can act like polymerization in a way where, you know, you got your previous brothers here. This can be like Ojama Yellow, Ojama Black, and then Ojama Green. And then with this final card, this could be like Ojama King. And yeah, I would say this is more of a meme type thing, but you know, ever since I saw this card, it just reminded me of the Ojamas, and so yeah, if you really want an Ojama with your Armed Dragon cards whenever they do come to Shadowverse in the far future, then yeah, you can add this, and yeah, that can be a that can be a thing. Now, the last character I'll be doing is Dr. Crowler or Kronos. So, yeah, I feel like this might be my worst one that I've done, but I feel like it'll be somewhat good in a way. But yeah, with Crowler here, I think I'll make him Runecraft. I can maybe make him Portalcraft, but yeah, with Crowler here, I just couldn't really find much cards with him. But there was like one card that came to my mind, and that is in Runecraft here. And that is, let's see if it'll pick it up here. It is called the Ultimate Golem or something, and I've always thought that kind of looked like the, the Ancient Gear Golem. Oh no, it doesn't show it here. Um, ooh, how do I find this? So I just searched up Golem over here, and that made things a lot easier now to find these Golem cards. But yeah, with me choosing Runecraft for Crowler's class over here, I just feel like that is very fitting because one, like I said before, whenever you see Runecraft players in the anime, they're always pretty witty and smart, in which Crowler does have a PhD and he is a doctor, so yeah, he fits in way more than someone like Jaden, you know. And two, Runecraft has this thing where it has a bunch of supports or different types of golem cards over here. And so yeah, with his ace being the Ancient Gear Golem, I feel like he should at least have a golem card, you know? But I feel like the equivalent to something like a Ancient Gear Golem would be lies within the Golem Squad card here. And yeah, this card here does force you to play a spell boost deck, and once you're able to spell boost at least 12 times, then you can summon a Ultimate Clay Golem and also another Golem too. But I feel like more importantly, the Ultimate Clay Golem, I feel like this card here would be the equivalent to an Ancient Gear Golem, because the way I kind of see Ancient Gear Golem is just a bigger version of something like a Ancient Gear Soldier, you know? Kind of like with this card, it's just a bigger version of the Clay Golem, and also when you evolve it, which is pretty easy to do, 0 evolution points, you don't really have to worry about evolving it using evolution points. Yeah, I just feel like it can just achieve the same stats or similar stats to what a Ancient Gear Golem could have. And also, when you do evolve with those, you do get a leader ability here, where whenever an allied Clay Golem comes into play, transform it into a Ultimate Clay Golem. And so yeah, I feel like with this ability though, it doesn't really match up in a way, because at least from my memory, I don't remember Crowler just summoning a bunch of Ancient Gear Golems in one match or one turn. I think he really just has like the one golem. Um, but yeah, I know he also used like polymerization too, right? To get that ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. But yeah, pretty much I just feel like this card here would be the equivalent to an Ancient Gear Golem to me. And it's not the only card here that can yeah, summon that Ultimate Clay Golem. If you don't mind using a card from another archetype, which is the Omen of Truth archetype here, you can use the Pursuit of Truth, which is also a spell boost card, but you gotta do it at least 20 times instead of 12 to summon 2 Ultimate Clay Golems. But yeah, if the Ultimate Clay Golem doesn't really fit in well, I mean, you can always just look at the other golems here. I would say maybe the Silver Blade Golem here would be a good fit, or the Pursuer Golem. But yeah, I just really want him to have a golem, and yeah, that is my take on Dr. Crowler here, or Kronos. So yeah, those are my takes on Jaden, Chaz, and Dr. Crowler of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, at least for Season 1. But yeah, those are my takes. Hopefully it was good enough in a way. I know with the, the first one that I made, that was kind of like a bit rough in a way, because, there wasn't really a lot of cards that I feel like that didn't match up. But yeah, I feel like with this one though, I feel like it was at least a lot better, because with Jaden at least, even though he didn't have his elemental heroes, you can at least have the elemental mages, and then you got the armed dragons and the Ojamas with the bro family. And then yeah, I mean, you got a bunch of golem options too. I just feel like this one was a lot better than the yeah, my dual monsters version of it, which I'm pretty happy for, because GX is my favorite, and I at least want to do this one justice. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Next time, like I said, how I want to do this series is I want to alternate between the spin-offs, so the next one should be 5Ds. So yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below once again on what you guys think of like my take, and also, if you disagree with my take, maybe share what you guys would choose for their class and their cards that they would use in Shadowverse. So yeah, guys, that is it for now. That's game.